Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. We're just about halfway through the month of December. It's my second show in 2 days. Loving it as always. It's kind of a mild day out there, and I'm loving that too. Got a great show tonight, an awesome model, and she's pretty fiery. In fact, her name is Lady Firelight. That's the name she goes by. We're going to talk to her tonight. We're going to look at some of her work, but before we do that, I've got to read these great underwriters. Not too many, but they're all great. I think I may have a new one or two. Well, we'll see. So here we go. We got MDI Auto Brokers and Repair in Whitman, home of the fully certified used car. We got Abington News and Whitman News, the corporate offices in Abington, and the phone number's there. We got Smoke and Ashes tobacco stores in Pembroke, Whitman, South Weymouth, Hanson, and Abington. We got Sesh Wellness and Accessories in East Bridgewater. We got Middleborough Barbering Company in Middleborough. We got Good Old Dave's Automotive in Hanson on Route 58. We got Carver Jewelers Incorporated, Ronald R. and Lyle A. Delano right here in the building in Carver. We got Richie's Auto Care in Hanover. We got Battistini's Bakery in Middleborough. We got First Priority Autos in Middleborough. We got the Gunrunner LLC in Middleborough that Governor Charlie Baker couldn't close when he deemed all gun stores were non-essential when they stayed open. And we got Matt's Auto Repair in Kingston, and I want to thank you guys very much. I have no new ones, but that's cool. And that's it. So this is Lady Firelight, and
yes.
And we just talked about, just before we started, about the name, the alias that you want to use, whether it's a personal name, and we're going to talk about why you chose the alias. But your other name is what? Christina?
A lot of people identify me as Christina Snape.
Christina Snake?
Snape.
Snape, S-N-A-P-E?
Yes,
got it. Okay. Is Snape a word, or is it just a name?
It's a name.
It's your given name?
It's in my lineage, a couple families back on the British side.
Cool.
Yeah, so I decided to use it, and also it's kind of like, I had a crush on Severus Snape growing up, so it fit.
Okay. Is he a rapper?
No, he's from the Harry Potter books.
Oh, okay. I know I should be more up on Harry Potter.
That's all right.
But I didn't, I never read Harry Potter. Well, first of all, Harry Potter.
Everyone just imagined me, if I was in the book, I'd be dating him or his mistress or something like that.
Okay. So. Well, I like that. You've already got some pizzazz there. I like that.
Yeah.
Talking about dating which could probably be a little over the top
fantasy.
for a
I was all fantasy growing up, so it's like I had more of a intimate
you look
connection.
like an all fantasy type.
Yeah, I'm out of this world. I don't really.
You're just stopping by for a little visit, right?
Going to visit, mingle, hang out, see what I can experience with other people, and just have amazing experiences.
That's cool. Well, how did you come up with Lady Firelight?
Lady Firelight came to me one day because my persona and my character, to anyone who knows me, is very dual. I love doing lighthearted type things. I'm a protector. I'm really big on the light side of life. I'm super positive, and it lights the way in the dark.
Okay.
But I also have a chaotic side where the fire can potentially burn you as well.
Okay.
A lover, warrior type thing. And Lady Firelight, I don't know, it just came to me almost like in a dream almost when I was awake. Just lighting the way in the world, but also it will burn you if you get too close.
I get you. How long ago did you have this epiphany, I guess, for lack of a better word, which it sounds about right?
On the way over here when I was in the car, I had a really cool realization that I've been doing, not professional modeling. In the beginning, it all started 4 years ago.
Okay.
And that was when it started to develop. And maybe into the first year, I discovered that everyone knows me as fire. I'm actually a Taurus, but everyone's like, no way, you're all fire. Like, that's not your personality. Usually you'd be shy.
Okay.
And learning about that fire within me, how it projects and warms people or kind of like puts them off just a tiny bit, it just resonated with me, and then I just popped. It was at a photo shoot, actually.
Okay, this was 4 years ago?
This is about 4 years ago, yes.
Okay, what happened today in the car?
It was the epiphany that I've been doing modeling for 4 years.
Oh, you just realized it. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm still a baby. I'm still up and coming. I'm part of a lot of really...
Well, you certainly are eye-catching.
Thank you.
The head, the close cropped hairdo and the jewelry, and I can see that. I mean, you're somebody I can look at and say you're a deep thinking lady, and you have a lot of skills that could probably rock the world in a good way.
Yeah, it's
or
the
a bad
duality
way if you
of
wanted it that way.
I'm always thirsting for hunger, learning new experiences, everything, and I am so blessed to be part of certain communities that encourage that on a healthy, happy, positive level of just creating art together.
Okay, and I take it you like to create art, and I guess modeling is art.
100%.
It is.
With my body, I project that into my work.
Okay.
And become my art.
That's it, as it should be. And I've seen your pictures. I saw your website, and boy, it was It was definitely it pulled at the eyes, no question about it.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, very magnetic. All right, now, but what I do with all my guests also is I try to backtrack and find out what they were like growing up and how they got
Okay.
to where they're at. So I'm going to do that with you too. So tell me about what you were like as a child, where you grew up, and how it got you to where you're at now. And if I have any questions, I'll fling them over. But let's see if we can. I'm like a detective piecing together clues.
I can have multiple conversations too, like darting back and forth with all the information. So
Okay,
definitely.
good.
I was a very bubbly, happy, lovey kid.
Okay.
Like hippie child, wild child. Like I love nature. I talk to my garden.
Cool.
I love people. I did go through a lot of stuff after that because of how extroverted I was.
Okay.
It made me a little shy because that expression was kind of frowned upon in school. You know, they want kids to be calm, so I
You were
was
out of
very
control.
ill too. I wasn't even out
you
of
were
control.
You were like caffeinated with no coffee. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Naturally.
Right.
And at that time, a lot of people found that problematic. So I was medicated for a large portion of my childhood.
Oh,
on,
all right, all
on
right. I'm
top
back
of it.
now. I can relate to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
As someone myself who was diagnosed as a psychopath at a young age, and it sounds like you were eccentric and I was eccentric, so I can relate to that. And I'm autistic, and the fact that I'm doing a show like this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Why did they have to feed you? I mean, but I never had to take medication for anything, I guess, but you were living in a different era than I was.
The 90s,
Right.
when Big
Yeah, I
Pharma
grew
was
up in
just
the
pumping
50s.
kids
Right,
full of medication.
Yeah, that's
Not
wow.
even just kids, adults too.
You're talking about like lithium and all that stuff, or
Oh, one of the many. One of
Wow.
the many.
what do you think of that? I mean, it sounds to me like
No, it literally traumatized me.
Yeah, yeah.
It killed my expression. I had issues with connecting with people, even more so because it's like I was super universal as a kid. I was super like in love with everything positive, and then all of a sudden being medicated was like I can't draw. People
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
say
yeah.
that I was doing like
So you were
finger
doing a lot of
paintings in my
artwork.
mom's womb. I've been doing art since I was born.
Right. Wow.
You know, and being medicated, I didn't understand. I felt like I was being punished.
I
you
know. I don't
Like,
blame
if you don't want
I
me
would
to
have felt
hug
the
you
same
and-
way.
Exactly. So it deteriorated me. And also being a really unhealthy kid, I was born with immunodeficiency disorder.
Okay.
And it felt like I had a death sentence on me.
Yeah, yeah.
And it affected certain ways for me, and especially being diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah.
They didn't really understand it. It's a lot more understood now.
Right.
But they made me feel incapacitated where I need medication in order to be okay instead of teaching me coping mechanisms. That came later in life. But
Right.
I always promised myself, though, it's like I got to get out of this once I get older and I'm more in control, where it's like the parental things was aside.
Yeah.
But recently in the past couple of years, I fixed many, many, many years of trauma. A lot of things that I went through.
Yeah.
But yes, part of that was lithium, where it's like I stopped functioning. I should have died. I cold turkeyed out of that.
Don't say you should have died. You should.
No, because of the lithium. That's how bad it is. If you
I mean,
stop
you could have
taking
died,
lithium,
but you didn't die. And there's like I always say, everything happens for a reason. And if
yes,
and
life is a gift.
Exactly. Well, life is a gift, and you were a gift to keep living for a long time as you've done. Well, you know what I mean. Not to die as a kid. Now you must have
No.
been pretty young when they were stuffing you with these meds, right?
Yeah.
Like preteen.
Grade school.
Wow.
Yeah, into high school.
Well, because I almost got committed a couple of times, and they told me if I was the only reason my parents didn't have me committed when I was 7 in the second grade, because they couldn't afford the tuition for Bradley Hospital and for the emotionally disturbed children in Providence, Rhode Island, was $10,000, and they couldn't afford it at that time. Fortunately, we worked it out. They sent me to a different shrink who said I was not crazy. That they were the ones that were messing me up. So that they were the ones that should change, and that freed me up from all that.
Yeah.
And then I went through some more stuff when I was 19. I went through, and then again, I had to see the inside of an institution, and I never had to actually be, sentenced to be there. It sounds to me like, though, you went through hell growing up with that, and that's
Yeah.
terrible. I feel terrible about that.
Yeah. I'm very blessed. I'm really
All right, tell me
proud of
about why
myself.
you're blessed in spite of that.
Like, I'm so proud of myself that despite being told and not having the resources to heal to the best ability that I should, the people who have money have the ability to afford the best shrinks that actually understand mental health to the capacity to help you build coping mechanisms, able to understand how to cope with your stress.
Okay.
And I didn't have that, and I had it pushed in my face to do it in so many ways. Massive amounts of pressure with relationships, with friends.
Yeah.
And there were times I've lost so many friends because I just, couldn't cope. No one can get close to me.
Right.
But getting to that climax of just realizing to be at peace with the moment and understanding to let go of the control of
Yeah.
the things that I can't control.
Exactly.
In that way, I accepted it and I took control. And then I managed to fluidly just be able to get on top of everything.
Okay.
And I got over my demons. I undug my past. And the trick is to tell yourself you got to believe that you can do it.
Okay, and you've done it. All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's see it. Tell me how this led to modeling, though. This was something that now
So
that's
it's a
what
work in progress. I
course
was
it
always
is.
expressing.
Yep.
Part of realizing that I could finally embrace myself and love myself
Yes.
and not carrying around demons and
Yeah.
dealing with that. Oh, wow. I mean, I just could not fail. So I started, one of the things that the medication did to me when I was young was balloon me out. So I was almost like 240 pounds.
Wow.
And into high school,
Yes.
it was a struggle. And
Yep.
then getting into shape, getting stronger, because I'm
Yep.
naturally muscular, so I was always really stocky.
Okay.
And I wanted to make my body feel good, but also create art with it. So it's like I love doing body painting.
Okay.
And I wanted to also get in shape so that I could show myself even more so that I love myself. And it's not about being skinny.
Right.
I had to find my right shape.
Okay.
Because I love all shapes and sizes. I totally encourage the body
You're
positivity.
geometrically obsessed.
Somewhat, maybe.
I just made that up. It's pretty
Yeah,
accurate, though.
yeah. It's more of like the vision for yourself.
Right.
And when you're at peace with yourself, and it doesn't matter what the form is, but as long as you're healthy and you're like, oh, I love what you see in the mirror. I do that when I go to photo shoots. I
Okay.
love posting photos where I'm just like, hey, look at me, look what I'm doing. I'm
That's
a different
awesome.
character. So
Now, you obviously right now, you're right. I mean, you're at a point in your life now where you feel pretty satisfied with the way things have turned out,
I
right?
gotta catch up.
Okay, of course you did.
My 20s was very hard.
Okay.
Extremely, extremely difficult. And now in my 30s, I'm going to be 34 in April.
Okay.
I'm about to catch up and help people. Like, that's my goal. I'm here to inspire people,
Yeah.
be part of things that the love for art is just real and all
Okay.
over.
All right. We'll tell you what. We're gonna take a little break and take a clip of a little video of yours, and then we'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, folks, we'll be right back watching
Roll
a
it.
video of Lady Firelight, and we'll be right back when it's over. Hope you like it.
Choke me like you hate me, but you love me low-key. Wanna date me when you fuck me. Touch me with the lights off and my chains on. Baby, I'm not the right one, you should wait on. She a freak, little bad hoe. Guess but told me kill it, I said let me grab my death note. She put me in like a lasso, saying that she know me, I don't even know I had though. Ain't no daddy issues that I won't even bother. She say I kill a cat like I'm Luca Magnotta. Real bad bitch, pussy ball like Saitama. They used to hate me, now they want me, bitch. I feel like I'm Gara. Girl, you fucking with the wrong one. Fuck his team, fuck your clique, bitch. I'm on one. Fuck your stream, fuck your clip, you ain't saw one. Got your bitch on my dick like she want one.
Oh, that was great. Tell me about that.
So I just did a festive Christmas
Okay.
werewolf look.
For 2020.
Yes,
Okay, got
correct.
it.
And it is my first TikTok. It still I think needs a little bit of work, but it was a lot of fun to do. The video was first shot and slightly edited by the infamous and very talented Danny B. And
Okay.
he's actually part of the beginning of my process of becoming a model.
Okay.
2016 Walker Stalker. I'm dressed up in my characters because I've always been doing this, going to conventions and dressing up. He looks at me
Model
and he's like,
conventions?
yeah, I go to horror conventions, anime conventions,
Oh, I
comic
see.
book conventions.
Okay.
I'm a big nerd.
That's cool.
And he looked at me when he walked by, and he was doing a he had a gig going on.
Right.
He was supposed to be working, and he saw me, and he's like, I have to photograph you.
Oh, wow.
and he saw me and he took me under his wing and he kind of guided me to protect me.
Okay.
And I think that was such a blessing, and that's what I aim to with new upcoming models, where I want to protect them. I want to be able to tell them like what to be careful of, make sure you keep yourself safe, but
Okay.
create art working with other people. And from then on, we just developed, and me and Danny B just recently did a photo shoot at my house, getting
Cool.
all crafty. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah, I do a lot of looks that
So-
teeter on kind of spooky. I
Yep.
also do the beauty aesthetic.
Okay.
I'm sorry, aesthetic
that's-
as well.
I got it. Okay, wow.
So it's very fluid.
And I know I've seen your website, and you're
You
very
never
diverse.
know what you're gonna expect, right?
Right. Well, so right now you're modeling regularly, correct? And you're doing very well with it. And you have an agent, or do you represent yourself?
I'm looking right now, but I am freelance. I'm representing myself.
Okay.
Yeah, but I work with a lot of really wonderful people. A
Yeah.
lot with one gal that I work with that's extremely talented, Crystal Carnage.
Okay.
From Poison Beauty. She
What's Poison Beauty? Is that a rock band?
No, that's it could be though. That sounds really cool.
Yes,
no,
it does.
that's just her makeup special effects.
Really?
ju-
It sounds good to us because we see beneath the surface, but I don't know. It sounds like to a normal person, it sounds a little freaky, but that's fine.
Poison. It can be freaky. She does a lot of spooky stuff, like Halloween aesthetic. That's our niche. That's
What?
like our favorite. But she also does wholesome stuff as well.
Okay.
But it teeters on the spooky. It's mostly the spooky stuff because we love it the most.
Spooky's
so.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's so talented, and her two best friends, Miss Bambi and Robin Screams
Okay.
from Salty Lip Studio. The amount of beautiful art that's going to come by allowing me to be involved is just, I'm so blessed. And with the photographer, Sean Pierce,
Yeah.
we've come up with some really beautiful stuff so far.
Okay.
And I can't wait to make more. And that's what the passion of my modeling is all about, is meeting all these people.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Now, in terms of photographers, how many have you worked with about? Do you ever work with more?
Right now, I have maybe 4 to 5 that I consistently
Because
work
you've
with
been
and
doing modeling
trust.
for 4 years, so in
Yes.
that time, I assume you've
Many.
made some pretty good headway.
A decent amount.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's really been happening because my friend Evan Cristiano, who took
He's
me
right
here
here,
today.
isn't he?
Yeah, he's right over there.
Hi, Evan Cristiano.
He is
Is he
my bodyguard.
cool? No, he looks like he can take care
Yeah,
of things.
kind of like a
yeah.
protege where I've been like, he's allowed to see what I do, and
Okay.
I share on my knowledge for him to do also his passion. So
Okay, which is what?
he's also a model.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll interview him another time. That's wonderful. All right. So, in terms of like, do you have like a particular style you would define your modeling as? Just
Like-
maybe bohemian, perhaps.
Possibly.
Okay.
I mean, like the Lady Firelight fluidity persona I told you
Okay.
about, it's very fluid. I want to touch everything. I'm not in a box. I don't have really a lot of titles for myself.
Right. you don't need too many, but that's fine.
Yeah,
And,
I
you-
mean,
and your image kind of
I
speaks
love
for
the
itself.
macabre.
And me too. Okay.
I love the macabre, noir. I love some of the beauty aesthetic where it's all just like goddess glow and everything like
Okay.
that. So it's very much a very broad spectrum, and I'm going through all of the grays in the middle.
Okay, I get that. All right. Well, have you done any other things in like entertainment? Do you write at all? Do you do any music?
I used to be in a couple bands as
Okay.
a singer.
Doing what? Singing?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Lead front women vocalist.
Okay.
I've written poetry back when I was in high school. I published minimally, like, poems.
Yeah.
Nothing in like bookstores or anything, but like handouts and things like that.
Okay.
I write lyrics. I do write stories. A lot of that's going to come to the fore with my photography.
Right.
If you notice, a lot of my work
When you say photography, you
tells
mean
a
take
story.
behind the camera or in front of it?
Actually, both. I
Okay.
can be a director and a model at the same time, especially with the good relationships that I have with my photographers.
Right.
The communication is there, and we make it work, and we tell a story, or we convey that emotion that we're trying to go for.
Well, it sounds also like you say you have. I take it you're friends with a lot of models, and you kind of take them under your wing. Is that it? What I'm saying?
It's both. We both exchange talents together to create this really beautiful relationship of teamwork.
Right. So you do have a lot of friends that are models, and you work with.
A couple, yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. But it sounds like you're collecting more all the time.
Always. The world is mine, and the world is everyone else's.
You're oyster.
and-
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just a happy guest traveling through and just spreading that artistic love around.
Okay, that's great. Now, also artistically speaking, do you draw, paint, or sculpt?
Yes. lots.
Okay.
I actually have another Instagram, Christina Quinns, which is my cosplay
Okay.
Instagram, and that is where I feature what I call my quintessential art.
Okay.
And that is
I should know what does quintessential mean something to do with 5, the number 5?
quintessential.
Well, like
Quintessential is actually a term for oh God, what's it called?
well, don't worry.
Talking about designs, I
Okay,
think. It's
I
like
got
a
it.
designer.
Okay.
Like, oh, that's quintessential, something that you would see in a shop.
Okay.
Something like that.
Well, I always thought, I don't know, for some reason I thought of the number 5, like quarter is 4, fourths, like a yeah.
No. I used the stick where it's like I'm very much a Harley Quinn
Okay.
cosplayer. So
Yeah.
I used Quinn with 2 N's with a dot to essential dot
Okay.
art.
Okay.
So it was a cute little
No play on words.
yeah, play
Okay.
on words that actually my friend created, so I give him all the credit.
Okay. Have you ever performed in a music video? With you know,
Music videos? No,
Yeah.
I don't have any currently, but it is going to be in production at some point.
You will? Okay.
I like music videos.
Me too. I love music videos.
Yeah.
Ever do any like public speaking, stand-up comedy, or any of that stuff?
I do spoken word whenever I get the chance.
Okay. You like that? You are a public speaker then,
I'm very expressive and emotional,
right?
but I'm also very powerful and defined. Well, that's what other people say. That's what they
No,
get.
I can tell.
Yeah, that's their energy that they get off of me, which is very fluid between the two. I can be super soft, or I can be, my volume goes up and I'm super aggressive in a very non-visceral way, and
Okay.
people feel that from across the room.
Okay, but I think the way you do it, it's not really threatening. It's just I mean, it might be somewhat intimidating if someone's not used to you because I mean, you're certainly not someone on the straight and narrow path. You go with the beat of the drum it takes you. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You go to the beat of your own drummer.
Yeah,
Right, and you definitely do.
I like that song actually.
Well, it's not a well. I guess it is a song.
But the song that reminds me of it, I
What
forget.
song is
I
that?
forget who did it, but go to the beat of my own drum, and I was just like, I can do a TikTok.
Okay, that's right, and you are. Well, that's actually an old saying. People, I think it was actually coined by a 19th century philosopher or a poet named Henry David
Yeah.
Thoreau.
I think it was Mindless Self-Indulgence that sang that song.
Maybe you were reincarnated from that. Do you have any particular like religious views that are kind of like gnawing at you at all? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just wondering. I'm wondering if do you believe? Do you have certain views? I know you're philosophical, very deep thinker, but I'm just wondering.
I'm all energy.
You're all energy, so it
I'm
really
very
doesn't-
spiritual.
spiritual,
Not
right.
religious.
Not religious,
And
got it.
I practice Norse paganism.
Okay, so-
Shamanism.
That's certainly not Christianity. Okay, that's
No.
cool. Right. Because paganism is a study of
It
many
predates
gods.
Christianity.
It's what?
It predates
It
Christianity.
does. Oh, it definitely predates it by thousands of years.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go to college at all?
I did.
Where'd you go?
I went to New England Institute of Art and majored in media arts and
Is that in
animation.
Boston?
Yes.
It is.
But they're no more though, they're gone.
Okay, and you did. So tell me about some of the work you've done, like sculpting and drawing and painting.
Well, I started doing sketching, loved
Okay.
markers, worked with Sharpies as a kid, of course, graduated. I love Copic markers. Comic book art is my stick.
Okay.
Love it. I do portraits. I do artwork commissions for people. I can turn you into a really cool cartoon. What else do
Called
I
the
do?
caricature.
Yeah, like cool characters, whether you want an anime style or comic book, like American comic book style.
Kind of like my IMDb page, if you've seen that.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
It looks like a cartoon bobblehead of me for the show.
Caricatures are fun.
Right, I know
dig
that.
them.
I know, and if you're good at them, you can make a lot of
Yep.
money.
I do a lot of painting on my face and body now. I've been working on body art, but
Yep,
I do a
see
lot
that.
of
I see your
Procreate.
arm, your those tattoos. Did you create those tattoos?
Some of them are drawn. Like this is a portrait of a friend that just created like a swirly from
Okay.
it. This is the person who actually taught me about magic, and when she passed away when I was really young, so I got that as an ode to her because
Okay.
she helped me understand my inner goddess and to appreciate her
Okay.
and take care of myself.
Well, that's great. So you had someone that'll inspire you for the rest of your life. and
Nothing that I do is meaningless. It's
Oh,
all
I know
meaningful.
that. Nothing that any of us does is meaningless.
Yeah. Well, some people do. Come on, people go into a tattoo shop. I like that thing. I'll throw it on it.
I was actually at a tattoo shop called Pleasure and Pain Tattoo a couple of weeks ago. What a name. I loved it. Mm-hmm. Pretty funny name for a tattoo store, shop. All right, now, we're going to wrap it up. We actually within the final 5 minutes of the show. It's hard to believe the show goes by
Oh,
fast.
wow.
Yeah. Now, but before we do that, I want to ask you something. You mentioned something about you like. Do you have like a comic strip that you draw regularly, or have you done that?
It needs to get more consistent, but I do want to.
Okay, I'm thinking I always try to give advice to my guests that'll
Yeah.
help them out down the line. All right, well, we are within the final 5 minutes before we wrap it up. So what I want you to do, first thing, is to look at the camera and give shouts out to people that are going to see the show.
Okay.
Just condense them, and then we'll have a last little wrap up discussion before we end the show, and that'll be it. So go ahead.
Perfect. All right. Well, I
You
just
start with
want
Evan
to.
sitting here if you want.
Of course.
Okay.
But yeah, for Evan Cristiano for taking me on my adventures, model, extremely talented guy.
Okay.
Once again, Crystal Carnage, absolutely amazing SFX prosthetic creator, artist. She does a little bit of everything. Her two best friends with Robin Screams from Salty Lips Studio and Miss Bambi, like, I love their art. I want it to be everywhere in the world, and I fully always support them. And our photographer, Sean Pierce, that mostly works with them.
Okay.
Danny B, forever in my heart, the one that like pulled me into professional photography and
4
like
years
took
ago.
care of me. Yeah, 4
Okay.
years ago, 2016, going
Yep.
to conventions and all that. Let's see who else. Another good friend, Robin Wetherill, that I've been taking cool photos with, that I got to do a clown shoot with
Okay.
recently. But I think that's it for now.
Okay, that's great. Okay, well, that having been said, the reason I ask you to name people is because the next thing I'm going to ask is that if you had fun with me tonight, is that you refer me to these other people so I can get them on as guests. I get, like I tell everybody, I get 98% of my guests through Facebook, and the other
Yep.
2% is word of mouth, and that's growing more all the time. So I hope you did have fun with me, and I hope
I did.
we covered as much as we could.
Oh, and Rick Chandler too. Sorry,
Rick
I had to
Chandler,
condense
the
that.
film director from Easton? Oh, no kidding. You worked.
We make fire. We make creepy fire, though. I just did
Oh.
a insane asylum patient with him at a location at a.
And a film. So this was a film you were in.
No, it's not a film. We do photography together.
Okay, you're talking
and it
about
tells
the
a
guy with the
story.
long hair and the
Yep, that's him.
Okay, wow, I had no idea. Well, he's an old friend of mine.
Yeah, we're connected. We just created something really cool. He has
He was a
two
guest
photo
on the show
shoots.
too a few years ago.
I want to do films with him at some point too.
Then you probably will.
Extremely talented guy. I just had to throw him in there because I have so much fun. We
I-
work really well together.
Well,
and we create fire.
I'm so glad you didn't forget him then.
No, never. I
Okay.
can mention a couple other people too, but it's like they're my fam. So.
I understand. All right, well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, are you ready to wrap it up like we started it with the music?
Go for it.
Okay, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Take care. There we go. Sometimes it likes to sleep on me, but everything happens for a reason, as I always say. Okay, how was it?